Hi all of you, this is Gil. So today, this video that I'm about to show you right now, I'm just gonna blog about my own video here. This is my own video right here, the one that's become kind of viral, sort of. This one right here, I'm talking about. No, wait a minute, where is that video? The one that's getting viral. Let's see, this one, my April 12th video, this one right here, Today I'm going to blog about this video. So this one, you guys, a lot of you are probably, are here because of this video right here. This is a video that I made, in 1988. So you probably know this video right here. So yeah. So yeah, back in this time, like I made this video right here. So if I would be asking myself,
what's inside of this house? I'm gonna explore the inside of this.
So like, if you would be asking me what was in my mind when I made that video. Well, you know what, like these videos that I made, excuse me. Well, yeah, talking about a little bit of it, like what was in my mind at the time making that video is like, I had my camcorder, like I bought it for like at the time when I paid $1,000 at the time. So yeah, what was in my mind was that I wanted to make this video because there's a number of reasons why I made this video. Main reason for it is because I wanted to remember my days when I was 17 years old living in this house here. I just wanted a memory. That was like the main reason for why I made this video. Main reason. Because, we were leaving this house. We were going to be leaving this house a month later because my mom sold the house at the time for $140,000 in Covina, California. She sold the house for $140,000 and we were going to move to West Covina, the condominium. I have a bunch of videos up there already, so yeah, you could look at those videos for yourself. So yeah. So what was in my mind was all about memory. I wanted to remember all this stuff, like when I got older. Right now I'm 53. I was 17 in the video. Well, when I made the video with the camera that I had just bought for $1,000 and making $3.35 an hour at McDonald's. No, I wasn't working at McDonald's. I did work at McDonald's later on. But I was working at the coffee shop, Lisa's Coffee Shop, which still exists. It still exists right now. The coffee shop at the Lisa's Coffee Shop. So, like I said, what was in my mind was I wanted to remember all this stuff, and I wanted to remember like the times when we lived in this house, like especially any specific parts of the house that I wanted to. I put more time on recording on those parts because those bring back a lot of memories. So like I say, my mom had just sold the house for $140,000 at the time, back in 1988, and then she was going to buy this condominium in Covina or West Covina for $88,000, and then the association or HOA was probably like, I think $60 a month for that from the last time I heard, or at least my mom said anyway. So at this time, I was just enjoying my new camcorder that I had just bought. And it's like this there was like $1,000 I paid for it. It was this, I'll bring it out right now. Yeah, here it is. So it's this camcorder. This is what I used to make this video with back in 1988. I made this video using exactly this one, although this is not the same one. It's not the same one, but I had one exactly like this one. when I made that video. Paid $1,000 at the time. I saved $1,000 to buy this camcorder back in 1988. So working at the coffee shop down the street of this house, down the street, I was making $3.35 an hour, and I was working 15 hours a week. And of course, you know, I mean, at that rate, it took me about 7 months to save $1,000 to buy this camcorder, you know. But I mean, also other parts of my life that I had to say that was in my mind was the fact that, I mean, there was so many things that I wanted. There's so many items that I wanted in my life. There's so many things. I wanted a Nintendo with games. I wanted Sega Saturn. No, they didn't come out with them then. But a Nintendo. I would have wanted video games, and I wanted to upgrade my Atari 800 XL computer. I wanted to buy a disk drive for it. And I especially even wanted to buy a scooter, a motor scooter, you know. I wanted to buy even a moped, you know. I wanted to buy one of those things, and there was so many different electronics that I wanted. I wanted to upgrade my stereo system with something really nice. I mean, and I could have done a lot of those things. I could have done a lot of those things with the $1,000 that I saved, but out of all that, I mean, out of all things that I wanted the camcorder more than anything in the world. And I even sacrificed looking at buying a car, because I could have actually bought a car for $1,000. Back then, you were able to buy a pretty decent car for $1,000, you know, like back in the day. For $1,000, we were able to buy, like, say, a 10-year-old, say, a Ford Fairmont or something, like a basic transportation car, or a 10-year-old. He was no older than 10. I mean, and probably not even more than 100,000 miles on them either, for $1,000, you know. Or even better, yeah, we were able to buy like a brand new scooter back then too, a brand new motor scooter, almost brand new scooter for even less than $1,000. But I wanted a camcorder more than anything in the world, so I got that priority. I got that pronto. So yeah, so and then of course after having bought the camcorder, it was going to be a challenge for me to save more money to buy those little things that I was just talking about. So I mean, life was a disappointment in my mind, back in that deep down in my mind during the time when I made this video. I'm going to skip this ad right here. Deep down in my mind when I made this video, and life was a disappointment because of the high cost of electronics, you know, like camcorder especially. It was a big disappointment, you know, like in my life. But, you know, I did what I can to get the camcorder that I wanted more than anything in the world, you know. So, yeah, but so that was a disappointment in life, because these electronics are so expensive, you know, like especially the camcorder anyway. But, you know, the video game systems were not all that bad. I mean, they weren't that expensive, but certain electronics was extremely expensive, like TVs, you know, like a really nice TV or a camcorder. A camcorder was like the biggest offender for how expensive they were. I mean, and then of course, you know, I think it's mostly like things like a camcorder and computers were super expensive, you know, very expensive to buy. But computer was not even in my vocabulary back then, except for the little Atari that I had. Excuse me. So, except for the little Atari 800 XL that I did have. But I did not used to use that computer for anything other than just games and maybe typing in a couple of little programs. I made a few little programs. It was just like self thing. It was like all about like using it for self enjoyment, you know, games, mostly like games. And that's all we really used them for. I mean, the computers. We didn't have internet. Well, although they did have that, but it was very primitive back then. And then internet, if you had some kind of internet, it was what they called a modem on the Atari. They did have them, but it was just kind of out of reach for the most part for people, but computers are extremely expensive, so it was kind of out of that vocabulary for me. But in my mind, I just wanted this camcorder because I wanted to make videos like this, but my intent for these videos was just a memory. It's all about memories, like wanting to remember my life. That's all it was, because I just always had this thing about recording my life. And I did that with audio cassettes. But, the camcorder, the camcorder was a more glorified version of remembering my life, So, videos, I just always had this thing about making a video and, making videos like this, like how excited I was to make a recording of my voice on a cassette, and then but when we go to the video camera, that's a cooler version of that, the coolest version of that. But the main thing was so I can remember all this, like memories. And another thing too, when it comes to what appears to me that I knew that YouTube was coming, it was not exactly me knowing that YouTube was coming or anything. It's just that, where it came from, where I just had this thing about blogging, like if there was YouTube or blogging even before, where that came from. The reason why I was vlogging like this, like talking in the camera like the way I did with this video anyway, the reason why I was doing that, it was in my mind that just in case that someone's gonna watch it, just in case my family, I had actually designed all of my videos that I made from this time, 88, 89, and 90, even in the 90s. I had actually designed all of my videos that I made, so that way my family can immediately watch it, watch it and not have to worry about saying anything bad or anything. I designed the video in a way where anybody can watch it, just in case that some random friend or family member would want to watch it, and then I would just pop in the tape, and then I won't have to be embarrassed about the things that I said on the camera. I designed those videos so that way anybody can watch it without being regretful that I said something. I designed them like that. That's how I designed all of my videos back then. Because, I had this in my mind where I want to share my videos, because I want to share the $1,000 camera that I just bought, and then I want people to see it. I want people to see the things that camera can do and everything. So I did it in a way where if I was wanting to play the cassette in front of friends and family that's immediately in the house. That's how I designed the videos. So yeah. Well, this video turned out, I'm just going to go to my channel. I'll show you. You guys should watch this video. For those of you who's new, watch this video right here. It's life in the 80s. This is another part of this. Kind of like another part of this. This is like more of what you saw. And that's just a tiny fraction, This is like totally my life in the 80s, Rainy day in the 80s. It's totally like my life, so. I know. At that time, I was pretty happy with life, especially after having just bought this camcorder, having reached the milestone of saving $1,000 to buy this camcorder, which took me 7 months to do so. So yeah, so what was in my mind, or what was my next goal, my goals in my life at that time? I was pretty happy with the way life was. Maybe I would have wanted to get a better paying job, or I just wanted more hours. I just at least wanted more hours, because I was only working 15 hours at the time. I was making mac and cheese. I still do this to this day. Right now, it's today is April 13th, 2024. And on this video, it's, oh wow, that's only one day. This is March 14th, 1988. I was making mac and cheese. Maybe I have a video from, it's the same thing, March 14th. Yeah, I remember my day. I was making mac and cheese that day. It was April 14th, 2000. No, I keep getting my damn dates mixed up, man. That was March 14th, April 14th, 2019. God dang, man. Keep getting myself mixed up there. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so what was my goals in my day? What was my goals in my life? Well, I mean, I would have wished that I could. I was happy with the coffee shop. I mean, sure. I mean, I was happy with that. I mean, but I would have wished that I could get more hours. I mean, I was only working 15, and I felt like if I could work 40 hours, I would have been happy. I would have been very happy with the job because getting 40 hours, I would have been able to get like something about how much dollars. I mean, for $3 an hour, with taxes and everything, that's $30, $60, about $120 a week working full time. I would have loved that. I would have loved that. But back then, I was only making $25 a week, because I was only working 15 hours a week. So I would have loved to work 40 hours. I mean, and then what would I have been wanting to do long term? Well, I would have just wanted to keep making more money and to buy more stuff that I like, including like electronics or stereos, or I love things like that, stereos, and even buy a scooter. And for me, I was just not into a car because I felt like cars cost too much money. I'm talking about for maintenance, like we could buy a car for $1,000 back then, but I was afraid of like maintenance and repairs that it might need. It can cost an arm and a leg. So I wasn't really so much into a car. I felt like a scooter was better for me because I felt like it'd be easier to work on, and and I wouldn't have to really worry too much. Well, that's the way I thought. It was all about material things that was in my mind back then. That was in my mind. My long-term goal was just to keep working, keep working, keep working and making as much money as I can. That was in my mind. I was not like having any thoughts about going to any schools or anything, college or whatever. I didn't have much thoughts about it. I just wanted to go straight to work, that was in my mind in that time. So, of course, making this video, I mean, all the biggest motivation for me to make this video because I just wanted to remember. I just had this thing about remembering my life, So at the time I was 17 in this video, and I had my stereo as you see it there. Yeah. I loved my stereo equipment. I mean, I loved the way it sounded in those days at that time. So, I mean, my long-term goal in my days, it was just to work, keep working and make more money, and so I could buy more stuff I like, So, yeah. So, so there you have it. I mean, so that was me making that video, of the house. So, this is 36 years ago now. I mean, today it's the 13th, is it? Yeah, today is the 13th. Today, so today, this is exactly 36 years ago. And this is me 36 years later. So this is where I'm at 36 years later. And I'm going to show you my camcorder again. So, it's crazy that this camcorder works. This camcorder still works. And I'll demo it. See, it actually turns on because I have a battery in here. Well, I'm actually modified battery. So, yeah, oh man. So you'd probably wonder why these things used to cost $1,000. Well, you figure it's kind of like very, very professional equipment. They considered this a professional equipment back then, So the inside of it and stuff, how complex it is, and then I want to try to I think I have to work on the rubber bands again. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway. So, this is the camcorder. So yeah. So I hope you liked this video of me blogging about what was in my mind when I got this camcorder and recording that house. So that's my blog about what I think of the fact that I made that video and what was in my mind and everything, you know. So yeah, so I hope you liked this blog video. So I'll see you on the next one. All right.